Let it go. No, I'm not going to sing the whole song. But I am back with 5 more things that I am letting go in midlife. This is just I guess, a continuation, a sequel, but not a repeat of the video I already posted about 5 things I let go of in midlife, which I will link on the thing here on the screen. So let's get to it. 5 things I have let go of. So none of these are really majorly dramatic shifts. Like most of them, I would say I just had like an aha moment of, you know what, I am done with this. Why have I been doing it this way? And then I've moved on. So without further ado, continuation. But I'm going to number this one 1 to 5 as well. So 5 more things, 1 to 5. First up, complicated cleaning routines. Y'all remember Fly Lady? Oh, I know that a lot of people have credited her system for helping them like really get a handle on keeping their houses tidy and under control. And if you grew up in a situation where you really were not taught those skills, I can see where a very complicated system would help you because you literally don't know how to maintain your house. I will say for a brief period of time, multiple brief periods of time, because I would try it and it didn't suit my style and then I would give up. I too tried Fly Lady, but really what I've come down to is for the most part, most rooms, especially your non-water rooms. So your living room, your bedroom, we don't have a dining room, we have a game room, but that sort of thing. You're going to want to deal with the clutter, dust, and the floors, right? So you're going to tidy, you're going to dust, and you're going to sweep or vacuum. I do not need a detailed list to remind me to sweep and vacuum under the sofa or to dust the bookshelf versus dusting the table. Now, I'm not saying that if that works for you, great. But for me, a less complicated cleaning routine works so much better. And part of that, though, is that I do kind of look through each of the spaces in my home weekly. So I will notice, oh, that bookshelf is getting dusty. So I do need to pause and dust it a little more thoroughly. Does that mean sometimes they get a little extra dusty before I notice? Sometimes, but honestly, for the most part, because I take 5 minutes to just walk around and look to see what needs to be done, then it never really takes very long. And nothing ever gets really bad. Occasionally, like right now, I just realized the other day that the shelves inside the kind of linen closet in my primary bathroom are super dusty from just hairspray residue and things like that, I'm sure. And it did get to the point where I was like, oh, this needs to be done. But most of the time, if you're kind of wandering through once every week or so and doing a light dust, putting things away that don't belong, and sweeping or vacuuming, things are going to stay pretty good. And then when something pops up like, oh, there's a smudge on the light switch plate, then I'm going to go wipe down all the light switch plates, right? I don't need complicated. I just need to keep an eye on my house. Now, one little trick I will tell you, if you are new at this and you are kind of blind to things in your house, one of the tricks that I found when I needed more help on cleaning in the olden days, I don't anymore, I'm very good at noticing things now, is to take a picture of a space. Take pictures around your living room as if you're going to do a magazine layout. And I promise you, as soon as you take a picture and you like try to blow it up on a big screen if you can instead of your phone, and you blow it up and look at it, you're going to notice what needs to be picked up and decluttered and what needs to be tidied and cleaned. Somehow the lens does not hide anything. Where when we're just seeing it, we can become blind and immune to our environment, and then we don't notice that the bookshelf needs to be dusted or the same sock has sat under the side table for a month. But you take a picture, all of a sudden it's the only thing you can see, and then it helps you. But yeah, no complicated routines. Tidy the surfaces, sweep the floors, and handle the things that are in front of you. You do those 3 things on a consistent basis, then you're going to be able to keep your home and your rooms much tidier with a lot less complexity. Number 2, things that I have let go in midlife. Recipes with unique ingredients. I'm talking about that bottle of caramel sauce in my refrigerator. So I still do it occasionally. This is aspirational grocery shopping versus realistic grocery shopping. So 2 rules I live by now that help a lot with this. Know what condiments and spices we use regularly. Honestly, I even keep a list in Google Keep of the spices because we shop at a local spice store and then it's really easy. But also, it helps keep me honest when I go to the local spice store and I'm like, oh my gosh, look at this new blend. And I can look and see, you know what? I already have the things in my regular rotation I can use to make that myself. I don't need another jar in my cabinet. So know what you use. If you use some unusual or unique ingredient regularly, chili crisp, yum, then of course, I'm going to buy it. And if there's a recipe that calls for it, great. I'm trying to think of an example because we do keep a lot of unique ingredients in our pantry, but say you never use fish sauce, which is a ingredient very commonly used in Asian cooking. And you want to make a stir fry, but it calls for fish sauce. There are gobs of stir fry recipes that do not use that ingredient. And if you are only going to use it for that one recipe, go find another recipe that uses the ingredients that you already have, if you can't buy them in a small enough quantity. So the second rule that is kind of a continuation of that is if you are going to buy a unique ingredient, because sometimes you just want to do something special, make plans for the leftovers at the time you buy it. So if you're going to buy a Napa cabbage, but you're only going to need half of the Napa cabbage for the one recipe that you bought it for, look for another recipe that will use the other half of that Napa cabbage so that it's not going to waste. But particularly, like I said, be real careful in those condiments because we all know how crowded our refrigerators and our spice cabinets can get if we load them down with a lot of unique ingredients that we're never going to use again. So, item number 2 I got rid of, recipes with unique ingredients. Thing number 3 that I let it go in midlife is a complicated garden. In January, when those seed catalogs arrive, the allure is strong. You want to start the seeds in February and set up the grow lights and carefully plan your square foot garden and plan out your succession planning for the whole season. And then it gets to summer and it's hot and you're busy and you go on vacation for anything more than 2 or 3 days, and you better be hiring somebody to water your outside plants. The allure of a complicated vegetable garden or flower garden, either one, is very strong in January in the dead of winter. Do not do it. Don't do it. What I focus on in my garden now are easy to grow plants, plants that can be direct seeded outside, so there's no setting up grow lights and starting seeds indoors and dealing with leggy starts because the light isn't right or whatever. Plants that are lower maintenance, plants that don't require watering all the time, like the hydrangeas that are planted in my front yard and I just have to water. Easy to grow, direct seed outside, and my gardens look amazing. Beautiful zinnias and cosmos growing next to green bean vines and sugar snap pea vines, and it's so much easier to take care of. Yeah, it still needs to be watered. If you get real savvy, you could set up an automatic watering system, but that's like my little daily check-in when I get home from work. I go outside, I water, I check in. It's my little time in nature every day, but it's not months and months and months of planting and growing and digging and tending and weeding and stressing out. Now, did the rabbits completely eat my impatience this year? Yes, they did. And Swiss chard, for that matter, both of them. So you can't always help the animals in your yard, the rabbits or the squirrels. I have choice words for both of them this time of year. But easy to grow, and make note which ones the rabbits like. So no more impatiens next year, but more begonias because the begonias look amazing and the rabbits didn't eat them. So no complicated garden. Let it go. Thing number 4 that I have let go in midlife is complicated entertaining. I love to entertain. And I will say I have never been a complicated entertainer. I think once I hosted family Thanksgiving, probably the first Thanksgiving after Jason and I got married. And it was a multi day prep extravaganza. And I did that once. And I grew up in a family that did very complicated, very fancy entertaining. My grandmother was a lady who lunched. I have been a fan of the potluck for a very, very long time because it's the community and the connection and the hanging out with your friends that is the important thing. If you spend your entire time in the kitchen and you stress yourself out in all of the days leading up to the event, what was the point of the event? Like, parties and entertaining are supposed to be times to connect and relax with your friends. And if you're not relaxing, why did you entertain? Potlucks are the way to go. Now, if you want to do something a little fancy and you want it to be a little elevated over just a simple potluck, I am all for theme nights. I've done a soup tasting potluck. We hosted in years past something called Bad Art Night, where we would potluck the food and we would literally, the goal was to make bad art. You could not make good art, which is very entertaining because people who don't feel like they're good at art can participate, and it's sort of freeing for the people who are good at art to just be bad at something. We entertained around the Super Bowl for years, and we don't really watch American football. We entertained around the Super Bowl because it's a great opportunity to potluck and have friends over and watch silly commercials. So pick a theme, set a date, tell your friends to bring their favorite snack to share, or gosh, what was my favorite? Oh, I did a game night recently where the potluck theme was your favorite thing to snack on. And we had all kinds of things, from fruit trays to what did the Velveeta cheese and chips and pigs and blank, all kinds of different things, candy. So pick a theme, set a date, tell friends to bring something, and just be in community with your people. Do not stress yourself out with complicated entertaining. Let it go. So the first 4 are kind of, I don't know, a little more concrete. So our cleaning routines, our recipes, our vegetable gardens, our complicated entertaining. The last one's a little different, and that is I have let go of the concept of waiting to be recognized. This one was really hard for me because I grew up in an abusive household where I was expected to be perfect. It was demanded of me to be the caregiver for my caregivers. And I just was supposed to do what I was expected to do, whether or not there was any validity in me knowing that it was expected of me. Because very often things were invented that were expected of me that I had never heard of before and had never been explained to me. That is the nature of that. And so I grew up chasing perfection because it was what I was supposed to do. And not ever being recognized for the effort that I put in or the things that I achieved. Never being told that someone was proud of me, never really being told that by my family that they loved me. My value very much was wrapped up in what I could do for them. And doing excellent work was the price of being worthy, was the price of love, was the price of existing in my family. So I come by hard work from that place, and I work really hard at whatever job I'm at. And it was very normal for me for a long time to just work hard and not expect to be recognized for that. Because working hard is what you do. Why would you be recognized for that? That's that mentality, right? So that hard work was just something I did. It was not something that I expected to be rewarded for. It was just what you're supposed to do, and there's no reward in that. Fortunately, at midlife, I have learned that I am my best advocate. And it is okay if I have worked hard to ask to be rewarded and to make sure that the people in charge, in the most recent instance, my bosses where I work, recognize and understand the level of hard work I do, and that it's all right for me to advocate for myself to be rewarded for that hard work, which was really hard. And I did it recently when I asked for a benefit as a reward for my hard work, and is going to pay off. I don't want to get into details because I don't know how much I can, because I don't really know HR stuff. I don't know. But anyway, I advocated for myself and it's working out well. But even if it hadn't worked out, you are always your own best advocate. And hard work should be rewarded. And it's okay for you to ask for it. You shouldn't wait to be recognized. You shouldn't hope that if you just keep your nose down and you keep doing your hard work, somebody else is miraculously going to go, oh my gosh, look at that amazing work you're doing. We should reward you for that. That is not how it works. So, fifth thing in midlife that I have learned is to let go of the idea of waiting to be recognized and stand up and ask to be recognized when it is appropriate. So, I did, and it worked out. But even if it didn't work out, I feel proud of myself for advocating for myself and asking that my hard work be recognized in a meaningful way. Many of these look really simple on the outside. You simplifying your cleaning routine, simplifying your recipe inbox, simplifying your garden, simplifying your entertainment or your entertaining. And of course, I would say advocating for yourself is not small on the outside. That is something that's big on the outside. But all of them, even the really simple ones, are about the same level of letting go. They're releasing the version of yourself that had to do everything the hard way in order to earn your place. You don't have to earn your place, and you don't have to do things the hard way just because somebody else does them that way, or just because you think you're supposed to do them that way. It is super okay to simplify things. There's my 5 more things that I've been letting go of, I have let go of in midlife, on top of my first 5 things I let go of in midlife. And I'm still in progress. There will probably be 5 more things I've let go of in midlife, though I'm not planning that one right now, but I might, who knows? So tell me in the comments, what is one thing that you have let go of in midlife that has legitimately made your life easier? Let's compare notes. Maybe you'll help me find my next 5. Anyway, I am HeatherAnne in progress, still a work in progress. We should always all be in progress. If we're not learning, what are we even doing? So remember, until next time, small, consistent actions add up to big changes.